There we go. 6:03 on the dot.
How's it going, fellas?
Good.
Who's this stranger here we haven't seen in a while?
Right?
It's raining. That's why that's the only reason he's on.
Hey, it's dark.
Did it dump down there, Derek or Jared, at all?
Not yet. She's fixing to. Tucson, I saw got rain, but it missed us out here.
Yeah, it's been dark all day here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
we've had
raining
blue
all day.
sky, or not blue skies. We've had blue clouds all day, but it hasn't done anything over the top of me.
You got rain over there, Derek?
Yeah, we're about to have a fishing tournament in the road here. Don't quit.
It
It's been raining since last night. Gonna rain till Sunday, it says.
Didn't rain on the west side today. Not much. A little bit this morning. And that was it.
Yeah, our kennel yard's just a mud pit, and the whole whatever acre and a half it is, the whole thing's just soup.
Are you staying down by Maricopa, Chris?
Yes, sir. I am. So
I called my cousin about some property in Glendale today, and she told me about some other property right there, and I thought, yeah, that's too much property. I bet I can't afford that.
Oh, in Glendale?
Yeah.
You'll be surrounded in 5 years.
Well, if
it's
you're not
already
already
surrounded.
yeah,
No,
it's already.
Well, there's a couple spots in there, but if you get any kind of property, the thing about property over there, if you pay $500,000 for a quarter acre, you'll make $750,000 when they put a tilt-up building on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived over there when I first come here, and my favorite place to like hunt quail and jackrabbits is all neighborhoods now. On this side too, both ends are like that. Just 4 years.
Well,
Yeah.
we used to go frog gigging over there off I-10, a little pond. It's still kind of there, but you go in there and fill a pillowcase quick. Now there's so many houses, and Buckeye was nothing back in the day. Levine was empty, and now property's getting ate up, and that's why broccoli's $8 a head instead of $1.99 a head or whatever it is. That's why lettuce is $1.30, $1.50 a head instead of the only thing that saves lettuce is Yuma.
Well, there's no citrus left in Phoenix.
Oh no. We had peach and orange trees out here in Maricopa, and those are all gone. All they grow out here now are melons.
They said here 10 years ago it was pecans just for 15 miles, man. Just acres and acres of them full of coons and critters, and now it's just
whoa, wait a minute. We're gonna have to have some clarity with all this big fancy talk again. What was growing there?
all these pecan orchards, these fucking nut trees.
Who's pecan? Who's pecan where? You mean
pecan?
I thought he was referring to outhouses when he said pecans.
Pecans. Yep. Acorns.
Yeah, that's the correct way to say it. I'll die on that hill. That's the original pronunciation of that one. Acorns.
Original where?
In America. Yeah. They come from England here, and that's how they said it. And then it got changed in the modern days.
Just because it came from England, we changed
it. Well, we didn't change it for like 150 years.
Well, it's because you guys said it wrong for 150 years. We got you all corrected and straightened out.
Well, you just got all these people from Mexico come up learning English, saying it wrong, and then saying acorn a whole bunch of times. And then it
is. We'll get Clay Newcomb on here to argue it.
Yep.
He's on my side.
Yeah, I know. He's wrong too. You know what? Whatever you say, Derek, you're going to make it wrong, even if it's right. Yeah.
The correct way to approach this is to agree with Derek and admit that in that instant we'd all be wrong.
That would be true. So,
what's up with Jared? He's not talking.
I'm just listening.
He's tired from catching all them lines.
Nah, I'm doing okay, but I ain't knocking their dicks in the dirt. I know that much. I'm just doing okay.
Moving down there? Are they moving a little bit more now, or?
Nah, they're always down here. It's just fighting the heat.
Yeah, been nice lately.
I mean, that one I caught last week had them treed by 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And I think by the time I walked back to the truck, I think it was 84, 85.
And this week it's 70s and cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing a
60
sweatshirt.
degrees right now.
I just got done
60.
feeding horses and I had to put a sweatshirt on before I went outside. I mean, you'd still wear a t-shirt, but I sure as heck ain't.
I am wearing a t-shirt.
Well, that's what
is
I
it like?
pointed out to my wife the other day, and she said, well, how come you're wearing a coat? It's 60 degrees. I
Mm.
said, because at the end of summer, 60 degrees is frigid. At the end of
Yep.
winter, 60 degrees is going, yeah, there you go. At the end of winter, 60 degrees is where you go swimming.
Yep.
It's about half nice here right now. I wish it was like this all summer long. This would be okay.
Well, if it was like this all summer long, then units would probably close.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if
Not
it was
like
like
this
this
month.
all summer long, we'd have more feed. We'd probably have more animals. See, we'd
Well,
have.
I tell you, for this time of year, that desert's green.
Well, we got all that late rain in September, October. I mean, it helped the cows out. It didn't do much for the quail or the horn growth, but
Well, but the rain right now in this cooler weather, you'll get a bunch of fillery, and all the quail and everything will get under that big fillery, and they'll start eating the seeds off of that too.
yep. But I'm just because usually, like our quail, they hatch. The hatch is right after monsoon season,
Mhm.
but we didn't have any feed during rain during monsoon, so nothing really hatched. We still got a couple decent coveys out by the place out here, but not like what it usually is with the young birds.
Well, they're not projecting a very good season next year either for the animals.
Yeah.
I think everybody thought we was going to get some snow and rain but I don't know. I don't feel like we're going to get a lot of rain this winter or snow, but I could be
Well,
wrong.
I hope we do.
You
But
talk to the deer hunters and they ain't seeing no deer, but
Well, if you watch the internet, that's because Game and Fish don't know how to manage. But I can tell you this, because of the drought, you're going to see a huge reduction in tags.
yeah.
So
I mean, which they need. Like these southern units down here, there's 4 or 5 coos deer hunts, and each hunt's like 600 tags.
yeah.
That's a lot of deer getting taken out.
I think a lot of people whine about, the revenue, but I mean, are they willing? What is a deer tag? $54 now?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Are they willing to pay $75 and drop tags? I mean, I'd
Well,
pay $100 and drop a tag if you
I think
cut
we
tags
should
in
have.
half.
We should have higher tags.
bring back the auction tag.
Mhm.
I mean,
They
How about if they,
never should have gotten rid of that damn thing.
well,
Well, they
they're
still have that, just different now. It's
well,
just a
they're saying the revenue is going to be just as much. I'm curious to see the numbers though.
yeah.
Well, you say that, but then you look at the auction tag in New Mexico that went one for 1.3 million.
Oh, I've seen them go for what 750,000 here.
Yeah,
You know,
but that was a desert sheep tag, but
I'd be curious to see what the numbers are on that Copper State draw, because I mean it could surpass it. You get like everybody could spend $5-10. You know what I mean?
it's
Instead
easier
of
to make $100 with 10 people putting in $10 than trying to get $100 from one person.
Yeah.
And
we'll do both then.
well, that's what I say. I don't understand why.
Like
I
Nevada,
think
they have. I think it's called the PIW tag. I don't know. I've never put in for any tags, but I think it's a PIW for like elk, mule deer, and sheep in Nevada. And that's you guys drop in your 10, 12, $15, whatever it is, and you get to hunt this whole state wherever a unit is open for anything.
Mhm.
And that's like the auction, or not the auction, the draw,
Yeah.
whatever. and then they still do the bidded tags.
Yeah. I think they should do that. They should take 2 tags out of the regular draw. Or add 2, it don't matter. It's 2 game. Who cares? Auction 1 to the highest bidder and do 1 in that Copper State deal like they're doing now. And if everybody wants to whine about that extra one, they can just get bent. That's stupid. That's a lot of money.
Well, no, I think what was the theory on that? It wasn't fair.
Yeah,
Well, they were
not
mad
fair to you and
because
me because we can't
because
spend $1
Jimmy
million.
Johns had 17 guides on that 450 bull elk.
Yeah. Well,
But
when you're paying that much money, though.
Yeah.
all right, so he draws a tag now. I mean, he did the over-counter elk tag this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still
Still
going to
shot
have
a good
guides
bull.
on it. You know what I mean?
You know, still shot a good bull. It was in velvet. I guarantee you didn't have one guide, just one.
No.
Guys are still gonna, you know, maybe he did, I don't know, but guys are still gonna pay for the higher success rate if they got the money. They don't freaking
Yeah, and if
How much-
all them guys that were griping, if they had his bank account, they'd have had 15 guides on that elk too.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely. It's just like
it's just whining.
it's just like landlocking property or
Yeah.
public lands. You bet your ass if I had that ranch, you wouldn't be able to get to that mountain. You know, I'd do the exact same thing. I wouldn't let anyone cross my 2 miles a section to get there.
You hear about that? I posted it,
Yeah, that copper mine or whatever.
but there's a whole story to that. So those poor little hunters aren't exactly what they're not just
Said they were.
Not so I got a call on it. I got a little birdie. It called me and said, "Hey," and I just reposted it for Reed, and he called me and he told me the story because he was knee deep in it, and it's not what you think. You know, there's just it's private land and it's so big. Are you going to post every quarter mile when you have 6 sections? You know what I mean? That's a lot of posting. But I'll tell you this: it's about to be posted now, and all because of you get rock crawlers out there just destroying stuff. You know what I mean? They're not even leaving trash. It's just little stuff they destroy.
Just little stuff that's like I don't have a lot of acres out by me, but you got my private road that comes in and it's marked no trespass, and I don't have a gate or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And people still take it, and then they take the wash through my place, and they come around. It's all marked, but I pick up shit all the time. It is what it is.
Yep. Well,
I think they ought to do like Alaska's got, where you can't drive off the roads, you know, off trail, or like, you know, like just enforce that heavily, you know.
Well, they had a guy get rid up for it. A guide got rid up for it last year, and it wasn't even his fault. It was his fault, but he told the hunter to go back to the side by side. Well, he starts gutting the elk, and you know, just bring game bags, blah blah blah. Well, the hunter took that as drive the side by side out to the elk
on private property.
No.
Yeah, but you can drive to recover your animal.
Oh, what? Well, he got rode up for it.
Yeah, not on forestry. You can't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can. It's so many. You can't go back 10 miles, but I'm pretty sure you can. I'll have to look it up.
I thought that on forestry you could not leave the main trails.
Maybe you might
Like
be right.
Even that wash driving that people do ain't
Well, then,
lawful.
He
you know how you beat that?
I don't know. You were there. Three of us were there.
Yeah, when that guy got in trouble for going off trail, he got as part of his write up.
Yeah, and who knows? He could have been bordering wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, was he recovering an animal or just off road?
No, he was recovering an animal because his client Hunter took the buggy, but he could have been bordering some wilderness or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking it up. Well, you know how you beat that?
Don't do it.
Get a wood cutting permit. Drive all over the forest with a wood cutting permit.
There's a lot of those guys out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, shoot. I just hate breaking my stuff, so I just bring it to the road wherever the closest spot is to the road. Then I'll pick it up with the truck. But that's because I just hate turning wrenches and I don't like it and I hardly do it. And it's better if I don't drive off road.
Yeah.
It's answering a bunch of other dumb questions. Oh, here we go.
There he is.
Retard.
You didn't say the R word.
Hey, well, y'all got to start being more politically correct over there, man.
Well,
What are y'all up to?
just chit chatting about recovering animals. I have to double check. I thought you could go recover a big game animal. You could drive up to recover it, but I might be wrong. So all I can say is I never got caught.
I'm not sure. I thought you couldn't go off trail at all.
Let me see.
In Texas, you can do what you want.
Well, yeah.
Texas is all private anyway.
I love Texas.
Besides the private.
I bought a new truck and I ain't figured out how to turn all these lights on yet. So y'all are just gonna have to bear with me for a bit.
He's completely switched brands.
I did. And we're gonna see how this Ford does.
Oh,
It ain't going to be worth a shit. I hate mine.
Yeah, probably.
I
could have got a Tundra.
Well, they don't make a V8 no more in the Tundra, Chris. It's all them little V6 turbo jobs these days.
Yeah, then buy an old one.
I'll tell you what. You get in a Ford F-150 with a V6 and push that little button on the dash and hang on to your hat.
There's a button on the dash. Where is it at?
Have you got that Eco deal?
Yeah. Where's my button?
If it's brand new, it might be in the screen. A lot of the controls are in the big screen on the new ones. I don't know what trim level it is.
I think it has something to do with being some kind of sport button.
Sport mode. I saw that earlier. When
you push that. Push that and then step on the throttle. We want to ride with you.
Hold on, it's drive mode, but I gotta be careful because earlier I put it in 4-wheel drive going down the road.
Well, you push that.
Tow haul, sport. Hold on, here it comes. Yeah. It's sport. Oh no, it's putting me in 4 auto.
Yeah, you can drive on 4 auto.
Sport does, boys.
Now step on the gas.
He said, "Oh shit!"
God damn.
Yes, sir.
Did you just put it in sport mode?
Yeah, that's that V6.
Yeah.
Speed limit 65, in case you were wondering.
Only if there's red and blues around.
Yeah.
That'd be my luck. I didn't even know that was the thing. Holy cow.
Yeah. I've been looking at a lot of reviews of new trucks here lately, and it's just like Ford makes what people want, and the other brands are trying to make this smaller, more eco deal. Like the new Tundra is a hybrid. The TRD Pro is a hybrid. Yeah.
Well, that way, when Jared shows up with his Toyota, you can give him a run.
Well, I tell you what, these V6s are no joke either, though.
That's what this is. This is a V6.
Yeah, that EcoBoost is legit.
Twin turbos and all that crap.
Here, we're gonna see what it does right here. Can y'all see my speedometer?
Yeah.
Here we go. Son of a bitch.
There you go.
Shit.
You're welcome, Cody.
I had no idea, dude. You probably just cost me some money and tickets, man.
Well, just think the next time you get called for a hot tip in Mexico, you can get there.
Yeah. When I can run from the Zetas down in Mexico. And well, last time I talked to you guys, I was headed to the ranch because a deer hunter had wounded a lion. I got to take this thing out of sport mode. Hold on a second. This is too distracting.
Yeah, where Cody lives, there's a cop under every bush.
And
They're out there. When I was out by Eagle Pass, and shoot, they don't mess around out there.
what the hell were you doing in Eagle Pass?
I got a buddy with a ranch out there, and that's where my wife shot her black buck. We're supposed to go back over there for Thanksgiving, but I don't have anyone to watch all the dogs for a couple of days and take care of the horses. So,
Hey, hold on a second. Where do you live?
Arizona.
Yep.
I'm out of
So-
Tucson.
What's your buddy's name?
Jacob.
Hold on, let me look. How big a ranch? I have a reason for asking all of this, and I'll tell you
It
why.
ain't very big. I think it's like 1,400 acres. It's not very big. He just runs some animals out there.
I got a lion call from over there this weekend,
Makes sense.
and the guy's name. I have to look. I don't know if I can look with y'all on here. Hold on, let me see. No, I can't. I have to look. But the guy's, what was his name? It's a small place, high fence. But
Yep.
anyways, the guy told me, he said, man, one of my hunters said he saw a lion. He said, I don't know. He said, but I've got a friend of mine from Arizona that I've been hunting with quite a few times over there. And so we're always driving around looking for lion tracks and stuff. He said, so because I go over there with my buddy, I know what a lion track looks like. And he said, I couldn't find none. I wonder if maybe it was your buddy.
It's funny because he texted me Saturday and said someone saw a big cat and he went out looking for tracks.
That's the same place. That's the same guy.
Small world.
Small
Yeah.
world. He's a
Same guy.
He's a solid buck too. He's fun to hunt with.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. I called him and he said, man, I'm gonna be real honest with you. He said, I don't think this guy saw a lion. He said, but I'm gonna go look for tracks and I'll let you know. But he said, man, I've been to Arizona. A buddy of mine hunts over there, and he said, I've spent a lot of time, looking out the side of a Ranger or a truck looking for lion tracks. He said, I know what lion tracks look like. And he said, I haven't been able to find any. So.
Oh yeah, no, he does.
Yeah.
Got Cuda Mondays over there?
To him. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You need to send him a message and say, hey, I heard you talk to Cody King the other day. That's
I will.
Funny.
I'll hit him up.
It's a small world.
That is a small world. They're fun to hunt with.
he-
Too. I enjoy hunting with those guys.
So finish your Wednesday story.
Hold on, I gotta open my gate.
Anyways,
He's on his way home.
we'll go back to the recovery. It depends on who it is. Like forestry, all forestry has their own rules. So like he thinks Coconino you can't at all, but some of them have like distant limits. 100 yards, 300 yards or whatever.
That makes sense. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's all federal forest. You would think they'd all have the same rules, but Coconino, that's up there. That's all over like Flagstaff area, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably why. I bet you like Apache Sitgreaves, Tawno, I bet you they have limited, like little restrictions.
I'll bet Tano doesn't allow anything.
You don't think so?
That might be where I read it or where I saw the signage. Because I know, right up there by your house, there's signs on some of those that says you absolutely no leaving the trail, blah, blah, like that.
Yeah. I know by Greenfeet there's some wilderness, stuff like that. Closed
I
roads.
see there's
Finish
Yeah,
your-
his name was Jacob.
I believe it. I just texted
His
him.
name
to
was
see.
Jacob. Yeah.
No, he's a.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, small world. I wasn't far from him, but I was in Mexico,
Oh, okay.
and but by then I was in Mexico, but right across from Eagle Pass. So
Yeah, that's cool country.
yeah,
Thicker than
yeah,
it's
no,
thick. I'm not used to how thick it is, but it is thick.
Finish your Wednesday story, Cody.
yeah. No, some of that country's.
And he fails us.
You froze.
There you go.
there he is.
There you
Some
go.
of that country's pretty thick. So his place actually is directly across the highway from one of the ranches where we've got some collared lions.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it
Don't tell
he
him
was
that
he
because
was
he'll shoot he loves hunting lions. That's one of his favorite things to do.
he told me, he was like, man, I haven't seen any lions here, but maybe they could be. I was like, oh yeah, they're all right. And but yeah, it seemed like a really cool guy. But that's funny, small world. I wondered who he was talking about. I didn't ask him, but but yeah, the deer hunter wounded a lion and called me and said he couldn't find no blood or no hair or nothing, but he was pretty confident that he hit it. And I went down there, and this is kind of cool. They're in a bad drought, man. I mean, bad drought. And I got there about 1:30 in the morning, and I went to the blind where the guy said he saw it, and I went down the way he saw it, and I found the lion's tracks where he was walking up the road. And it was very obvious where the lion was standing when he shot. And there was no blood, no hair, no nothing. I turned the dogs loose. I mean, it's just powdered dust. And the dogs didn't really even acknowledge that there was a lion there. They just wiggled around a little bit. So I kept hunting all night, and I circled back over there about 7 in the morning. There was actually a very heavy dew, and I went back to the same place where I was at 1:30 in the morning, and at 7 with that dew, the dogs could trail from it. And they trailed and trailed and trailed, and Stocky jumped that old line kind of down towards the river, and they kind of baited on the ground for a little bit, and then it treed. And we got up there, and I could see that the lion had been shot in the shoulder, but not bad. And the hunter shot the lion, and that lion was walking towards him. And if that bullet would have been 1 inch to the right, he'd have completely missed the lion. The entrance wound and the exit wound were like 3 inches apart. And but I guess it was just enough for that lion to be sore, and I mean he didn't bleed a drop, and but I guess he sore enough to lay up, and uh and then we treat him. So it was a successful mission. I wanted to collar him. I was hoping that he didn't hit him, and I was going to have the guys come and collar him. And then once we had him in the tree, we could see the bullet holes. So
Stitch him up and send him on his way. Just a flesh
yeah.
wound. He would have lived anyway.
And then I spent the next 4 days hunting about an hour south of there, and trailed the lion 4 miles one day and 3.25 miles the next, and just never could catch up to him, man. It's just too dry down there. Holy crap, was it dry. Son of a gun. But it's supposed to rain up there starting tomorrow. So hopefully
You guys
There you
getting any
go.
storms building up right now?
down where I live, no, but they say it's supposed to rain up there. Further north, I don't know that Sea Eagle Pass will kind of be the southern end of the rain if the weathermen are right, but who knows?
Well, the weathermen are never right. If they say 10%, it'll rain. If they
Who
say 100,
knows?
it won't. So, well, you caught a lion. That's all that matters.
There you go.
I can't hear you.
I don't know.
What's the matter?
Can you not hear us at all? No,
Something
Nope.
happened. I can't hear you now.
we
Somebody
can hear you.
tried to call me.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. Maybe
Yeah.
someone tried to
Hmm.
call it. Probably just muted. Well,
Yeah, probably.
just restart it. Let me see. I'll text him. And hear you. Benny, what do you think of that Florida deal
What Florida deal?
where they're trying to end that hunt, the bear hunt?
They want to do that everywhere. It's a nationwide deal. And
Yeah,
in
it's
all
like,
reality, it's a worldwide deal. Hey,
Yeah.
look at this. I'm seeing double vision.
yeah, I'm gonna keep him on there. He's so pretty, we'll keep him on there.
I don't see how a judge has any right having any say whatsoever over the decisions of wildlife professionals. I don't see how any of them lawsuits can work at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
They're mad about the antis buying tags in the draw and not hunting them.
But they still make the money. I mean, that's their right.
Yeah, they got a right to put in same as us.
Yeah.
And it's
And
all that's gonna do is create more. They got 4,000 bear over there. They got more than we do, correct? Aren't we only at like 4,000? They
Yeah,
say.
3,700 or
Yeah.
something. I think they said. Yeah,
So,
I think all that's going to do is make a bigger quota next year, and they won't fill the quota. So then that's going to give the dog guys a leg to stand on next year, and they'll keep having problems. They'll up the quota. They'll let them have their dogs. I don't, and it'll go into an over-the-counter tag with a quota, rather probably, and then that draw will just go away. Then they can buy all the tags they want to. They have a right to buy them, same as anybody. You can't prove who has the intention to hunt and don't.
Yep.
well, they got 4,000 bears. They could probably hunt them just like we're hunting them over the counter, and still have. And it's the same thing every time. I don't want to spend much time on it because it's boring, but it's the same thing every time. Trophy hunting, no science. This is what they're saying, and it's like the FWC. I think that's what they are, right?
Yeah,
Florida Wildlife.
Florida Fish and Wildlife. Yeah.
So they made a decision, and then they try to take it to court. It's ridiculous. A judge should just kick it out and say this is ridiculous.
A judge should have no right to say anything about it at all. Judge don't know any more than Joe up the road.
Yeah. So now they're just whining. They bust him in the Sierra Club of Florida. It's the same thing, the same name, Sierra Club, the Center for Biological Diversity. It's just the same names. It's the same narratives. It's trophy hunting. It's they don't have the science. It's you're gonna kill them all. We're in there. You're encroaching on there. It's just stupid stuff. It's the same thing. But when you go to their websites, they got that donate button right there, and that's what they do is donate.
Yes, sir.
That's all it's about. Make that money.
Money.
Not going to change.
Nope. Okay, can we quit talking about it now? Oh, he froze up.
See that?
Yeah.
the
Good.
topic got so cold that he just died.
The internet
Everybody's
froze.
just speechless. Have
So
any of y'all been hunting? Anybody got any good hunting stories?
Jared
Where's
does.
where's
Just,
Jeremy
just,
Purvis?
just Jared. He's got all the hunting stories. I ain't got a truck, and Benny ain't got no dogs yet. We're bad deal.
I've been doing
Hey,
okay. I haven't been knocking them too hard, but I've been doing okay.
I got a whole trailer of dogs. They're just hot dogs.
Where'd Chris go?
He froze and had to restart his computer probably.
So
Yeah.
Cody, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Douglas, Arizona. And if you'll go over there 2 days prior to that, you can go. I'll talk to Kelly and make sure, but I think you can go stay with Warner.
All right. What's in Douglas, Arizona?
Is that the earn your
At-
spurs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
earn your spurs. And Jared's going to be there. He's going to take his wife on a date and give her some fresh made Navajo tacos down there in Mexican land.
Yeah.
What's earn your spurs? I ain't no cowboy. I mean,
It's a ranch
This is,
rodeo, right? Right.
Yeah, it's when Kelly's mom died, Warner's wife died. Wendy Glenn had been pretty instrumental in reaching out and helping other people with stuff. And so Kelly and her daughter Mackenzie continued Wendy's deal, and they raised money for local cancer victims. And Wendy died of cancer. So, but that deal went for 2 years, I think, and you can only have so many local area cancer people that need help down there on the border. So they made it bigger and changed it all up, and now they earn money for agriculture, ranch and farm agricultural kids to
well, that's good.
go, give them.
When's rendezvous?
August 20. It's the third weekend usually of August, whatever that is, 22nd or 24th.
Whatever that opening weekend is.
But whenever I told Kelly that you wanted to meet Warner, and she said, yeah, he needs to come stay with us sometime, not at Earn Your Spurs, because Warner will be busy. But I'll talk to her again in the next couple of days, and I'll say, well, what if Cody comes over there 2 days early? And that ought to give you enough time.
If you
Yeah.
want to meet Warner Glenn before anything happens, that's a good time to meet him. At least shake his hand and bump into him and say hello.
Yeah.
So as long as he's in good health, you'll meet him. You just better learn how to walk fast, because that sucker, he steps out, man.
Cody can keep up.
Yeah, Cody might be able to keep up. But he'll talk to you.
I'm gonna sport mode my way up the rendezvous next year. So y'all better be ready.
There you go.
I hope your dogs don't stick their head out of their box and peel their ears off.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm excited about next year's rendezvous. I'm gonna drive up next year and bring some dogs and
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Where's Purvis at? I haven't seen him on here in a while. I've been meaning to call him, and I've been so busy and I keep forgetting.
Every time I send him a link, he's busy working a dope case or working this or working that. I haven't seen him on here. So I haven't even sent him a link.
I talked to him Friday, but it was only for a brief second.
Yeah, I talked to him because he won that raffle, that son of a gun.
I tell you, hey, where's Dustin? Dustin ain't on here.
I don't know. I thought he was going to be here. I sent him a link. He acted like he was going to be here because I don't think he's out hunting.
No, he still might be. He might be feeding his dogs right now. He texted me a little bit ago.
I have problems with my Alpha XL for some reason all of a sudden. I think that closing my antenna in the door has like broke the internal wires or something, because man, I'm only picking dogs up to like 600-700 yards now.
Maybe.
Dang.
Have you
So-
updated it at all?
No, I don't know how to do all that crap. It says I need to, but
Yeah. Sometimes that helps. I had an Alpha did the same thing. The 100 I had before I broke the antenna, and I just kept using my 220 because that I used it and it wouldn't work. And then old Nick, heck, Isaac said, "Have you updated?" I said no, and I updated it and it started working. As soon as it started working, I broke that damn antenna, and I was down there hunting with Jared, holding my antenna on, trying to get some sort of reading. So I couldn't shock or nothing, but I still had my 220s on them. So
Do you still have to plug the new ones up to a computer to update them like the old one?
I plugged my 300 into my computer and did that Garmin Express, and then you just log your callers up to the internet and it automatically updates, I believe.
Yeah, that's the way mine is. It's just right in the phone and it's updating it, updates it all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how the 300s and stuff did. I ain't had one.
No, it's pretty simple. You just have to do it every once in a while. Shane said that they just put out an update today. So
Yeah.
I bet Cody's biggest problems is he didn't buy the bilingual one.
that's probably what it is. Is it meters or is it
yeah,
yards?
I've got both.
All my
But
roads
man,
down here are marked in meters.
Yep.
these new Starlink minis, man, they've got a bunch of like mounts. You can mount them on top of your truck and have internet wherever you go, which is
Well,
pretty handy because
you can have it while you drive.
down in
Yep.
Mexico, there ain't no map cords. And with that Alpha XL, you can just download your maps real easy, but you got to have internet service. Yeah. But
Hey, Casey's
Well,
on here early tonight. I wanna encourage him to take a plenty of videos with his wife down there sticking hogs when you guys go down there with Cody.
I'll take care of the film crew. That's exactly right.
when is
It's
he
hard
going over
enough.
there?
February, end of January, early February. I got it. I got it all set up for him.
Nice.
We'll have a good time. Slade's gonna put him up out at the ranch he runs, and we'll go hunting out there.
So Slade came on here 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, but I haven't seen him on here anymore. We must not have been his cup of tea.
He's been watching a little bit, but he's
Quiet.
yeah, he probably don't want to say too much. He's afraid y'all put two and two together and realize that I know him and then think y'all think less of him for it.
Hold it against him. We'll hold it against him.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, what,
no, man, that's all I got going on, guys. I'm fixing to have to hop off. I've got about 5% left on my battery, but I got to catch up on
Hey,
some rest. I left Wednesday night to go hunting, and then I ended up hunting through Tuesday. So me and my dog's pretty wore out.
Sun gun.
you just getting home from that?
I got home last night.
Oh,
Yeah. And them guys from the Monterey University came over, and we went. There's a female with 3 kittens on one of the ranches that we have access to, and they're kind of back in there, and they were taking pictures. But the kittens are still just a little too small to call her. But there's a male that comes and checks on her pretty regular, and we found his track. And like I said, the first day we trailed him 4 miles, and the second day we trailed him 3.25 miles. and a lot of that was me helping the dogs visibly by sight. I mean, it's literally it's the driest I've ever seen it in my lifetime down there. But the only, as much as that sucks for conditions, it is just about like tracking in the snow. You know, I mean, you can, they come out, walk down them roads, and I was able to help them dogs a lot. And then he'd get down in the draws and start walking up the creek, and they could trail him again. And then he'd make it to another road and walk down the road, and I'd have to go help him.
Yep.
And but it's so dry, it's about near impossible to catch a bobcat. I caught a bobcat, but it was a little old kitten, and but I started quite a few other bobcats. But it's literally too dry to catch a bobcat.
How big them kittens got to be when you collar them?
That depends on who's collaring them. Number one, you know, like I told those guys, I said, man, if y'all want to collar them, we can, but we'll have to come back in 3 or 4 months and change the collar on them, because they'll grow so fast.
Yep.
And the problem is that if they move onto a ranch where we don't have access, then we can't get to them to collar them again.
Yep.
And then they could die. You could kill them with the collar.
Do you have people that won't let you on their ranch even for that? Like they just don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I caught a bear.
There's a good number of people that won't let me on their ranch because of that. They'll let me on the ranch to go kill them if they wanted to, but they won't give you access to go collar them. They don't want a lot of these ranch owners in Mexico and in Texas. Some of them are pretty funny when it comes to government involvement on their ranch, and they just assume not have any of it. And I can't say that I blame them, to be honest with you, but.
I caught a bear. This is when I bear hunted in Nevada. I caught a bear, and I thought all my dogs don't rig or nothing, but all my dogs stuck all their heads out of one side of the box and kind of started barking here and there. And I was like, I'm just gonna let them loose and see what happens. Dogs went out, caught this bear. Shoot, 5 minutes. This bear climbed. And I looked at the hunter. I'm like, we just probably jumped the line off this spring. And we get there, it's a bear. It jumps out of the tree. Trees right goes back to the road. Trees right on top of the road. Hunter shoots it. The GPS collar that the state used was grown into his neck, into the fat layer, cut through the skin, all that.
Goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you want to talk about I've skinned, not millions of bears or lions, but I've skinned enough of them, and he was one of the rankest things I've ever smelled. When you had to get up by his head, that was terrible. All that fat was oozing out, and
Yeah.
he had a 19-inch skull on him, but shoot, he was only 200 pounds. That collar, I think, stunted his spine. He wasn't very long.
Yeah.
He had a decent head on him and decent feet, but shoot, he was skinny and real short.
This the lion that caught that was wounded, that was in Texas on the river, and then I moved to Mexico with those guys to go try to collar a lion in Mexico, and yeah, they want one collared. A lot of times them guys want to collar stuff so bad that they'd maybe put a collar on one they probably shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But like the collars that they use, and I have some of them, but they're at the office. They have a charge in them that after like a year or two, you set the timer on it, and then it's got a charge that actually blows up, and then the collar falls off, and it doesn't hurt the animal, but
That's pretty handy though.
Trying to upload that video.
I used to have one of those collars on the study, the first study they did in the San Andres Mountains over here in New Mexico, by the Oregon Mountains over by Cruces. We were lion hunting over there, and I ran onto one of those collars. They're pretty big and bulky
Yeah,
collars.
they're pretty bulky, yeah. And that's the other part of it is, and they make small, medium, and large. I mean, the company that makes those collars makes harnesses to put on hummingbirds. So, I mean, they make any size you want, but
Mhm.
they normally the universities and stuff they don't carry a collar small enough for a kitten, and they have collars that are even expandable. They
Yep.
have like bicycle
Hmm.
uh
Like rubber.
yeah, inner tube kind of stuff.
I got a dumb question. You know how they track all these fish and sharks and whales and all that stuff through they just put a tracking GPS through the dorsal fin and it's about the size of my pinky.
Yes,
Why
sir.
couldn't we do that? All it is a barb going through the skin.
I
Like
don't think the
lines and
battery.
stuff, it would come off.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
It would pull out going through the brush and stuff. It
You
I
remember
was
them
just thinking if
colors
you
they
put
were?
if you barb it on like a fish hook, but you're probably right.
yeah.
Especially down in that country. I mean, I've only been down there once, but it is thick. There's a reason they cut roads in shooting lanes.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
Yep.
Me and
Yeah.
Chris was looking at some of them expandable collars at the mountain lion workshop last spring. You remember that, Chris? Where it had that, like he's talking about, with that stretchy type deal on it
Oh
for
yeah.
when they grow. They are pretty big collars. Them jokers are like a daggum big cell phone stick and just real chunky deal. Pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share that video you sent me here, Cody.
All right.
Let me get it here. Share screen. All right. Can you guys see it?
It's loading.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
You
There
guys
it
see
is.
it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's trying to load, but it's not playing right for some reason.
Yeah. Like skipping around.
Oh.
We
My
got to see
internet's
lions in the tree,
crap, I
though.
think, tonight because of the too many clouds, I guess. Yeah. I could well, let me see here. I was gonna say I could do it the old fashioned way here.
Play it with audio if you can.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Everybody, all the northern guys that have seen it in the last couple of days have been making fun of my run and walk the tree dog.
Hey, they treed it, didn't they?
Yeah, they
That's
barking
right.
under the line, by God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's in a tree. They did what they were supposed to do.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like 91 degrees, man. The freaking heat wave came through, and them dogs were hot, which is why there wasn't very many of them barking. But
Oh, yeah.
old Taco, he don't care. He never shuts up.
It was in a tree. That's all that matters.
Yes,
But
sir.
well, guys, I'm gonna hop off. We'll see y'all later on, man.
Yes, sir.
Take
Sounds
care,
good. Thanks
Cody.
for jumping on, Cody.
Later, me.
So, what do you guys think of that? Those two guys that killed those dogs. Did you guys read that story? It's been going around the internet.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was hunting dogs, was it? It was a lab and a beagle,
Yeah, it was some people's pets.
and they shot them because they said it was coming at them in a tree stand.
Yeah.
You know, the angle of the shot is down. They pulled the collars off, tried to destroy him. Another hunter caught him. Yeah.
A lot of those guys on there, they just like killing dogs. They're just like freaking crazy people, like kill stuff. And the problem is it's illegal in almost every place, but it's never prosecuted criminally. Very rarely. Like, there's a guy close to which, actually I think Chris Powell might have worked that case years ago when I was young, and he killed this guy's dog. He just walked up and shot it in the head, And it's a whole deal, takes a year and a half, and he ended up suing the guy. But he don't go to prison. I don't understand.
Oh, shit. You getting any hell over there, Derek?
Golf ball.
No hell here. No hell in Gilbert. No hell in Chandler. Not that I know of.
I got was talking to a cop, and he saw the dogs and all this stuff, and I was kind of complaining. It was a good dirt road, and I was like, dude, these people are driving 65 miles an hour, and it's posted 35 even. And he's all, yeah, this and that. I'm like, what do they do if they hit my dog? And he's like, you're guiding, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm guiding. He's like, that dog's considered a guide.
So it's like hitting a human being?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like shooting a police
Shooting
dog.
a canine.
Police officer.
Yeah.
See, you should be able to register your that's why you don't want none of that.
My dogs are registered.
No, I meant like you don't want none of the government control.
I have to register all my stock and dogs
for your
forestry
license. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And I don't know why more people do not get insurance, which calling the kettle black, because I don't know how to get insurance on my,
I haven't. I probably should, but I mean, shoot, I think to insure my top 3 most expensive dogs, I think it cost me about $4,500 a year.
Yeah. When I get my registration finished on this pup, and I get my money a little bit better, I'll get it on him, because I'm fairly certain he's the only hunting Karelian on the continent. So I don't want to have to be, hanged on that.
What's the difference on that Karelian and they just a bigger dog? Doesn't it look like the Leica a little bit?
Kind. I mean, at a glance they do, but they're pretty different. So their proportions are a little bit different. It's not as long of a dog, and then it's got a bigger like triangular head. Ears set real high. A lot of the Leicas you see are not bred super good. A lot of them are crossed up and everything, especially here in America. I mean, you should look at some European stuff and it's better, but most of the Leicas here in America are pretty crossed up. This
so what do they use them on? What do they use the Karelians on, and where?
In Finland, Scandinavia, all in Scandinavia and Eastern Europe on everything. I mean, brown bear is what they're bred for, is brown bear, and then they use them on pigs and moose and everything else too. Swedish kennel club, they're good in the moose dog breed, which is just the big game breeds. But yeah, they bred them for brown bear, and they use them on brown bear, moose, and pigs.
I use my dogs on pigs. I don't want them to, but sometimes they just go wherever they want to go. I wish they'd turn me a pig down here. I still got a tag I got to fill. So
I wish we had some pigs, really, instead of them having Lena. I'd like to get into some like small to medium sized ones with him. That'd be good for him.
There's some pigs down there on the border.
I was gonna say there used to be a lot of pigs down there, and that was back in the 90s. You didn't
go over by Douglas. You go over by Douglas. That trail camera guy's got pictures of them.
And they're not Russians, right? They just look like normal.
Yeah, there's normal wild pigs, feral pig.
But they've had them down there by Nogales, all that area down there.
I ain't seen any down there. I usually go down there, but
I
ain't
think they
seen
killed them all out because back in the 90s, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
They're getting more and more bears down there, and you can't hunt them.
Oh, the quotas aren't. I mean, shoot. The biologist lady, she checked in 20 bears in August.
But I mean, in 36, you can't hunt. There ain't no bear hunt.
There's
But
only a couple bears in there. It ain't
well,
worth it.
then I've caught them freaking all because I've caught 3 in there accidentally. I keep jumping them, man. Like, well, right by where we was, right in that next canyon over. I've jumped bears out of that canyon at this end and this end, two separate times. And then on farther down that curve, I jumped one too, a different.
I mean, they've had them, and they've even had them out by like out here, but it's rare. You talk to the ranchers, and they'll come through, but if the feed's not there, they ain't gonna stick around. And we just haven't had any feed.
This year they're all over the place. They're just traveling. That's it.
Last year I jumped that big one, the big red one. I jumped that off a deer kill, which it probably took it from a lion. But I mean, well, you remember we was in there. It was just kill everywhere. There's just skeletons, dead deer all over the place.
Yeah.
And lions was putting the herd on them in that country.
What were we talking about today, Jared?
I can't remember.
Me and Jared get talking about stuff, and we want to talk about it on the show, and then I forget what we were talking about.
I told you I didn't want to talk about Florida, and I didn't want to talk about shooting dogs. I remember that.
And I said, I'll keep it quick, and I kept it quick. I've just had a lot of people send me the dog deal and the Florida deal.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it.
So I just wanted to bring it up, because it does affect us sooner or later. It all affects us, but
yep.
It's not as fun as telling stories. What were you talking about? Gosh dang it. I told Jared to come over here and hunt with me, and he said, hell no.
Yep.
And I told my idea about some other stuff I don't want to say on here, so no one takes my idea.
Yep.
I think we just talking dogs.
We were talking dogs.
If you could just record, I hear this all the time on all podcasts. If you just record everything, you'd have a heck of a podcast when you're just BSing on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Dustin,
isn't that the same kind of thing that that's what started the rendezvous? Was Brett's idea, just getting around the campfire and just chatting?
Well, and I think I brought that up to you too, huh, Benny? I said, and Jared, I said, I think I'm gonna have a just like a rendezvous.
Oh yeah, in May.
A campfire rendezvous, because I get a lot of people that are like, we can't make the August. You should have it in spring. And I thought, well, March or May, or maybe end of March.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way the season's probably still open. Have it in Unit 1 right there on the 61 road. Just drop a pin and say, hey, I'm going to have a campfire here. Whoever wants to show up, show up. That way you don't have to worry about permits. You don't have to worry about feeding anybody. Maybe we'll give away some shit. That's about it, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But just have a real campfire rendezvous. Just call it a campfire rendezvous for all the hounds guys.
Yeah.
Come tie your dogs up whether you're hunting or not, so I can look at them. We can point fun at your pointy ears. I just like to see what kind of dogs everybody has, because a lot of times you're watching these, you're like, God dang, man, that looks just like my CC dog, or that looks just like my, yucky dog.
But see Dustin around my black dogs.
You don't even face him.
He hates them things.
That's funny. One day that son of a bitch gonna get him one, and it's gonna be a good dog. You watch. It'll be a fluke.
I was making fun of him because that line he runs, every now and then it'll throw a full-on black and tan hound out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got. Who took your black and tans?
Huh?
Didn't you kept the black and tans out of yours?
I still have all mine. Well, no, I gave them to a cowboy. He wanted them.
Oh, that's right.
He wanted to use them for wild cows.
Casey takes some of them pointy ear dogs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long. Yeah, I'm not sure how long they live. But...
Yeah.
No, we was just talking about doing a rendezvous. And then I get a lot of emails for American Working Dog Alliance. So I called my guy and I said, how hard is it? And he said, it ain't hard at all. Change the name. And then Dustin set me straight. He's like, well, then you got to when you change it you kind of got to put in the work for that. And I said, no, not really. We just have chapters across the United States.
Yep.
So, so that might be a go. And it's the same acronym. I'll just keep the same website. I had some people email me about it. One lady said, I'm kind of a nobody here, but just the Arizona Working Dog Alliance, I didn't really think you guys were just, she goes, then I kind of found out you guys try to help out everybody you can. She says, if it would have been American, I would have jumped on board quicker, is all she said. So
that was my thought. I thought it was just polarizing to box ourselves in.
Mm-hmm. But there's so much work to do just in Arizona. You just have to change it, and it'd be the Arizona chapter. And then if New Mexico wants to jump on, they can start one, call it the New Mexico chapter,
Yep.
And honestly, we could probably run it all out of here.
Yep.
It's the raffle laws, all that stuff is crazy. And then Dan Gates, he was talking about Colorado. He had Louisiana just got on. Jeremy just got on and said Cody didn't call him, but what did Cody just say? I'm trying. I just been busy. Cody ain't busy. He just out hunting.
And he's got a lot of stuff going on at work, and so when he's gone all the time, work is demanding.
Yep. And then we was talking about Jared don't like politics, but we started talking about when the 1980s and 90s and all them guys are saying
that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that line hunting's coming to an end, and so we got kind of in a deep conversation about. I was telling him how I keep trying to bring up trophy hunting and how we really need to change that narrative. And then,
well, what do you consider a trophy, though? I mean,
that's we've talked about that. I try to bring it up every show.
Yep.
Chris Powell had a thing on it, and even though I'll never admit he's right, and we're better than him, he was right. He was almost right. But he talked about it, and he said we shouldn't be afraid of it, and we have to change the narrative. And I really agree with that. Changing the narrative. Like
when I shot my first buck, it was a 3x2.
That's bigger than I shot. We were the tradition was like a spike. Get a spike as a 10-year-old, and then you got a 2-point, and you just tried to make yourself better as you went.
When I was 13 years old when I shot that buck might as well been 180 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure my dad still has a set of horns hanging in the garage.
My dad has mine hanging on a wall, and and I know the only thing I don't agree with on some of these people, they say we shouldn't just keep saying it's for food, but man, that's what I hunt for. I'm really not.
But most people don't. You know what I mean? Most hunters, I would say, don't. They dual hunt. I would say most hunters don't eat what they hunt. Most game that are killed don't get ate by the guy that killed it.
But somebody
lot of guys. Well, yeah, but they're not going deer hunting so they can donate to the Hunters for the Hungry. They're going deer hunting because it lights their soul on fire or whatever. You know what I mean? I hunted for years for it, and I probably wouldn't eat another raccoon. But I never been so proud as when my puppy was blowing the top out of that oak tree, and I look up and there's a bandit looking down at me. 11 years old or whatever. Never been so. I was the biggest fella in the world then. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
We don't have to justify what we're doing to the antis. All we got to do is tell our story to everybody else. We're never going to convince the extremists anyways. And we can't keep responding to everything, every rock they throw at us. No, we're not. We don't hunt because we like it. We hunt because we're hungry. That's what it sounds like. You know what I mean? And it'd be cheaper just to go buy steak at the meat market.
If you want to pick it apart, though, even these anti-hunters, go to any of their houses, and I guarantee you they scrape their plate. So when they talk about us just shooting for antlers and wasting, they waste more food than a hunter ever will. Even a lot of people don't like venison. It's kind of crazy. I'm not a big
I
deer
won't
fan,
eat
but
a mule deer.
I'll eat the hell out of anything. Like I'll put it in a bottle and I'll put it in fajitas and put some peppers in it. And if I want to dole it down, I'll put some of them Colorado green chilies in it.
He's not here to protect himself.
Oh
Back off.
yeah, it's all right. He'll listen to it later.
Yeah.
And and the whole trophy thing, they keep using the trophy thing, and we gotta take that. We gotta saturate with the trophy thing. We gotta saturate our version of the trophy thing and make it great again. Make it.
And that is a good
trophy
thing.
hunting's always going to have a black eye.
Oh yeah.
And the good thing is though that trophy hunting don't mean anything.
No,
like when they go to the game commissions and they're talking about trophy. Well, that's not a legally recognized term, so shut up. Like everybody's getting sick of this trope. You know what I mean?
When you talk to me as a 12-year-old kid, and I heard trophy hunting, I thought you were hunting Africa. That's what I thought.
Uh-oh.
You think
someone got off the shitter?
Oh, there he is.
He's not here yet. He's hiding.
No, I'm here. I'm driving. I heard. I felt somebody talking shit about black and tans or something.
Somebody's gonna tell you one or something. I don't know.
He's like Cody. He's like Cody King. You say black and tan, black and tan, black and tan. He shows up. No, I mean that's just. We were just talking about how even in the old days when Bruce Kennedy was interviewing, all those old timers, they said the same thing. It's going to end. It's going to end. And it is going to end. Like you can sit here and say it sooner or later. You can only put so much water in Kool-Aid before it don't taste like Kool-Aid no more. And I think to get people involved in what we're doing, it's just tough. It's just tough, And
but
I was kind of on the fence
that's
about.
how we got on that subject. Is the way the old timers hunted is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay.
That's what I was going to interject. I was going to say that every generation, the way they do it, their methods, it's gone. It goes away. And so there's a natural progression. And the freedom, just the outright freedom is gone.
It's exactly what Jared was saying. You can't just trek across things anymore because even though like the Gila's the wilderness, you still have all those hikers in there. You have all those glampers in there. You still got interaction. You're not just out there by yourself a whole lot.
Yeah, you read that book, Rand's Hounds. They rode in for a full day to a Forest Service camp, a Forest Service cabin, and hunted out of that on a full horse ride in. You ain't doing that nowadays.
And that's where I think,
for one, someone's probably living in that cabin that's a hiker or what have you. Down by me, I got the Arizona Trail and what have you, and all the frickin' cyclists and, whatever the hell they are wearing the tights and the bicycles.
The twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are, I call them smokers because when I drove my Cummins by them, I'd smoke them out.
Oh, yeah. I hate those freaking people.
Well, Jared has a great point. Anymore, we're not, it's the great outdoors. It's national forest. It's whatever, wilderness, but you're never alone. Even with the trail cam laws in Arizona, I found 2 trail cameras this last month that I don't know if they're fishing game or they're illegal cameras, but they're out. There's so many more active people in the outdoors enjoying it, whether it's hippies out hiking, people out doing whatever, us hunting or whatever. There's so much more people out there than there used to be. And like Benny said, with every generation, it changes. However the landscape is being used, stays somewhat the same, but the habits of the people and the way that it's used changes constantly.
Yeah. And
Well,
that's just how it is, and that's okay. But like smoking out the bicyclists or fucking with the hikers, we can't do that kind of stuff because if we become the problem, everybody else that's using the land that's for all of us is going to look and be like, these guys are the problem, and we're cut
Oh,
out of the game. We
most
got
I can't.
definitely.
we got
I
to adapt.
cannot do that. I cannot do that with my Cummins, but with my Ford, I can do that with a whole line of bicyclists. So,
I'm not
part of that is
saying
right.
I'm not saying I didn't used to do that. I promise you, I had my moment in time when I had a Cummins that was tuned to the nuts that I could touch the gas and blow smoke for days. But Derek does have a point in now everything is in the public eye. Everything is recorded. Everyone takes a picture. Everyone does all of this stuff. So for me, every time I run into someone on the road or on the trail, especially with my dogs, I make it a point to make it a good impression unless they start it in the opposite direction. But
Yeah.
I always try to create the narrative of, oh yeah, this is a guy that runs hounds. He has, I ran into like 6 old people up above Prescott when I was hunting bears, and they're like, oh, we thought your dogs were a mountain lion. Then I talked to them, told them what I was doing, let them pet the dogs, and they were just loving it. They asked me what I was doing, and I explained it to them, and they were great with it. I was able to somewhat change the narrative in their head from that interaction. I mean, I don't say we need to cater to them, but also we need to show that we're, you know, we can get along, do whatever, and all of that. As much as I don't want to, but
you
Yeah.
you know why that happened though? Because you took the time. If you wanna make an impression, throw your dogs in the box. Make sure it's winter time, not too hot, and just hit every gas station. Go park at a Whataburger. Go
oh
park
yeah,
at a Walmart and just sit there. People will come up and talk to you. I have been hunting and rigged the road, and some people came up and said, "Oh, are you hunting here?" I said, "No, I rigged it. I don't think there's nothing in there." And it was an old couple, and they didn't like dogs. They were after 30 minutes. It took 30 minutes of my time. I took 45 minutes out of my hunting and talked to them. And by the end of it, they said, "Man, we just thought you whack and stack them." Basically, in a nutshell, it's kind of like he goes, "We didn't even know this and this." And that day, I did that to 3 people.
Yep.
I rigged by a pond, and there was people standing by it, and I said, "Well, I'm just gonna move on." I bumped into him later and stopped and said, "Hey, you guys get anything?" He goes, "Oh, we were just scouting." I said, "Oh man, I had a rig right there." He goes, "Oh, you should have let loose." And so they didn't know about dogs. I've been in a
yep,
doctor office, and we talked about a bear, and some guy poked his head out of one of the doors, like, "Someone say bear." And those same thing, those guys. I just took some time, and I think
Yep.
there's people out there that can take time or will take time, and then there's people out there that get defensive right away. But I've had a dog in back of my truck, just on my flatbed, and a girl said, "That dog's skinny." I'm like, "Shit, that dog's fat." And some lady walked out and said, "That's a damn hunting dog, and that dog is not fat. That's a good looking dog." Like, she jumped her ass, you know.
yeah.
So you just have to take the time, and you have
Well,
to
Yeah.
and
change
it's
the narrative.
you're
There's a
right,
vet.
because 90% of them that you run into are either uneducated or ignorant to what goes on. So they don't know any better other than they see their neighbor's 90-pound lab that should be 60 pounds and think it's healthy. So they don't understand it. They're uneducated and ignorant enough, but they also are this generation that we have now that also have their opinion. And so until you can educate them a little bit and say, well, you know what? An overweight track star is not a track star that's going to win,
Yep.
or something that is in shape. Yet, like, to me, it is more of an injustice to take my dogs out of shape and fat and expect them to catch a bear than it is for them to be a little bit underweight and in shape.
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
you go take a pack of 10 fat dogs that are out of shape and put them on a bear that runs, that's going to do more damage than it ever will for them to be a hair underweight but in shape.
Yeah. But I always tell people, like everybody's seen Michael Phelps win gold medals. He don't look like me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
exactly right. Yeah,
These dogs are athletes,
they
and
are.
yeah.
Well, you definitely don't see
They're
no fat.
marathon runners.
Yeah,
When
you
was
don't
the
see
last
no.
time you
Yeah.
seen a 400-pound guy run a marathon?
When's the last
Yep.
time you seen a 200-pound guy run a marathon?
Yeah, like it's
That's a winner. That does it every day.
Yeah.
No,
and
those
and
guys
all
are-
it does, like Chris said, all it does is take time to stop and explain. And I've been guilty of it. You know what? If I have a bear heading for a road and I'm going, I've been guilty of blowing past some people on a road that they're probably like, "What the hell is this son of a bitch doing?" And I get that. But when I have the time, I stop and I take the time. Just like this last Saturday, I was out hunting, running a bear, had a 13-year-old kid in the front seat with a tag. We were just out hoping we could do it. We ran into some guys on some four-wheelers, and they ended up actually being guys that had hounds but weren't hunting with hounds. We talked to them for 10 minutes saying, "Yeah, there's been a good bear in here. There's been this, we've caught this here, there, or whatever." And they were grateful. They were good. Like, we just sat there and explained it. But they could have been people that didn't know hounds, and I still would have explained it just the same.
Yeah. We got to
I've
remember that we might be the only dog hunter that these people ever see. And
Yep.
we don't got no more right to that mountain than the lady in her hiking shorts.
No,
We got to
definitely.
remember that we all own it the same, and we might be, like I say, the only guy they ever see, and so we are the face of what we do. And
Oh.
30 minutes of explaining could be the one vote that saves us,
First-
and 5 minutes of
first-
being an asshole could be the one vote that takes it away.
first
Lord
impression.
help the only person that sees Jared with a box full of black dogs as their only impression of a hound.
I seen the guy down there with a bunch of huskies.
Oh,
Chris and
I get a lot of that when one of them dudes sticks their head out of the box. These people are like, what are you hunting with that? What kind of dog you got? It's I can't never get out of the fuel station with it. I got to leave early or else I'm in there forever.
you get attention. You get attention when you have. I'm usually traveling, especially up and down the mountain. I got 10, 11 dogs in my truck. And so as soon as I hit a stoplight, you know how it is. You stop that truck or slow down, poof. And I've never had anybody yell anything bad. I've just said, people talking about the dogs and kids in the back of the truck,
rolling the
I have
windows
dogs that
down.
you can pet. So they're
Yep.
same thing. They're like, "Can I pet them?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." And the greatest thing when Andy was alive is if you were petting, they'd be like, "Does it bite any of them?" I said, "No, go ahead and pet them." Well, if you were petting one dog and Andy was right there, he'd burp at you. So you'd pet him. And I said, "Oh, except that one," and it'd scare the crap out of him. Say, "No, I'm just kidding. He's just jealous. He wants you to pet him, But I've been at gas stations for an hour, and I
Yep.
just feel like as any hunter, I took a deer hunter into a bear tree. And I told the guy, I said, "You got a tag?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "If it's big, I'll let you kill it. And it's not a sow." I said, "But if it's little or sow, we'll just probably let it go." And that's an archery deer hunter. They hate us, but I took him in and he'd never been into a tree. And I can guarantee you 80% of these hunters that say, "Fuck the houndsman, they're a piece of the shit." Get them in on a tree and they'll call you the next week and they'll want to burn up a tag with you.
oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was hunting. It was a few years ago back in Utah. We were just on the summer pursuit, so there was no kill season. It was just chasing and training dogs, and I rigged a bear like 150 yards from this camp, and it was one of those camps that you could tell had been there for a while. But so I rigged it. Dogs. It was just a pop up. They ran 300 yards, caught a 2-year-old bear, probably just been kicked off its mom. It was hanging around camps because it was hungry. So I came back to the truck after I could tell that they had treated it and was getting my wife and kids. And I seen an old guy looking at us through the bushes. So I sent my wife and kids in and I walked over to his camp and I said, "Hey," I just introduced myself. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Oh, we're just up here kind of living." They were kind of one of those nomadic people that just go from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him. He'd never been around hounds, never been around it. And he says, "Yeah, he says, there's 2 younger bears that have been in our camp. I said, well, they probably got kicked off their mother. And he says, Skipper, I asked him, I said, well, they have one treat. I said, do you want to come in and walk to the tree with me? And he goes, is that okay? I said, it's 100% okay. I said, my kids will talk your ear off. I said, but you're more than welcome to come in and see that bear in a tree. And he come in. I said, does your wife want to come? He said, no, she's not ready for the day yet. I mean, it was early, but he came in, took a bunch of pictures, talked to the kids, took a bunch of pictures of the dogs. And from there, then he changed. He was like, oh, this is really cool. I've seen all these hound guys up here, and I know they just, you guys make noise and all that stuff. You're up here early, but he's like, I understand it now. I was like, yeah, we're just up here because we like running the dogs. We like seeing bears. We're just taking pictures and leaving them. He said that is completely different than I ever thought it was.
That's the narrative right there. You have to explain. Last weekend, I was supposed to leave at noon, and my son called me and says, hey, we got to go release a bear. I said, all right. And we went, we pulled over for cell service because I had texted the houndsman, and we passed him. And we stopped, and there were some people there, and they're like, what's in that trailer? And we're like, a bear. Is it still in there? Yeah. They never hunted. They were just out driving in the forest, and they got to come over. And my son, as a game warden, he's a great. He talks to everybody. He don't care, and they're like, "Can we take a picture of it?" And he said, "Oh heck yeah, And it was just a little tiny 2-year-old bear in there, that 1.5 years. And I took that opportunity to talk about hounds. I said, so if you guys ever see how the hounds are destroying everything, I said, there's more bears released than ever killed with hounds. So I went through another 30-minute spiel after he was done with his conservation talk that I talked about hounds. And literally I said, so if you ever see them trying to get rid of dogs for a ballot initiative, absolutely, you'll kill more bears getting rid of hounds than you'll save, So it's just that time and I'm not in a suit or nothing. I was wearing dirty clothes at that point, and I knew better. I just jumped in at the time. I was headed down here, but I mean, just took the time, and they were just fascinated with it. And a lot of people are fascinated with it. You have to take that time because the antis take a lot of time. They go out on the street. If we just went out on the streets as much as they did for no reason, if we just took our dogs and parked over at Walmart and handed out pamphlets and just talked about it, that's the offense, right? Derek was talking about that last week. That's the offense we need to play before anything comes up. Period. No, don't wait until something comes up, right? I mean, every town, and especially in like the summers up north, you could do it. The winters down here, you can do it. You just have to play the strategy. Make sure the dogs aren't too hot. Make sure you have a puppy with you. If you have a puppy with you, you're a winner.
Yeah.
So
because they can't look at that little fuzzy puppy and think that's a bloodthirsty monster, what I mean?
Or your old dog. That's another bad narrative that we have to change. It's worse than trophy hunting. When the dogs get old, they just kill them. Yeah, I got Dirty right here, who probably should be dead, but
he's 112 out there.
So we just got to change the narrative, and like you said, we have to do it, and we have to make the time, even if you just go out on a Sunday or a Saturday, or like in Sholo, they have the guys meet with their old cars. I should just go up there with my dog truck and sit with 2 or 3 dogs in the truck, and just let people pull up to. You have to hit those spots where people aren't hunters, not like Sportsman's Warehouse. You want to go to like Harbor Freight or Aaron's Furniture or near restaurants, just something where everybody goes, especially where I'm at. It's a second home community in the summer. So a lot of those people aren't necessarily hunters up there. They're just second home people that have they're uneducated is all it is. And when they get educated from the other side, first impression. So like Derek said, you might be the only hound, you might be the first one and the last one they ever meet. So if the first one they meet punches their dog in the face while they're out running, and they're out there bird watching and they see you, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people who get busted in game and fish is a video from someone that's spotting and seeing you do it. Someone just posted on Facebook a guy that shot a deer on private land, and he posted it. And I'm just like, we got cell phones that zoom out there now. I mean, just a regular cell phone will zoom out there. Yep. So you got to be careful all the time, not just in public, you know.
You're always in public. That's what you got to realize. Always in public. And
you know, and then to go back to Bruce Kennedy and all those guys he interviewed, and we was talking about how it's changing, and it's really changing. And I think I call it, we're getting watered down, right? Ed Vance talks about walking out 9-10 miles and not making it back and having to sleep and have ice on them, to where today we're not just hunting out of our trucks. We're dragging our side-by-sides. We have a camper. We have a camp. These aren't just, those guys were tough. Those guys lived off sardines. You know, those guys.
I think there's a big danger in trying to hang on to the old way of doing stuff, though, because it's like, where's the old way stop being cool, for one, because nobody's out there napping their flint points on their atlatls to go hunt bears. You know, the times have changed. The land has got
now. So if we get
time
caught
to
sleeping outside with the dogs, bam, you're rid up. Especially if someone glasses you up or you walk into somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like times have changed. The land is shrunk. There's more people. We have to change with it, or else we'll be gone. You know, like.
Because I've slept on the mountain with the dogs and stuff in Nevada at night. But there it's 24/7. Here it ain't. It's sun up to sundown. And we know that game wardens listen before sunrise.
Absolutely. I blame the game warden for baiting the mountain. And I started a rumor about it. And a year and a half later, he said, someone started a rumor, and I kind of laughed. He said, that was you. I said, yeah. I told everybody, you bait this mountain so you know where all the hound guys are for these bear.
You know, it's just stuff like that. You got to watch, you know, like me and a buddy were talking the other day. Say you get a phone call about a lion kill. Well, it's a mile off the road. What are you going to do? You got to wait till sunrise to get to it.
Well, legally, you can leash your dogs in. You just can't turn them loose.
Yeah.
But even then, you know, are you going to leash 6 dogs in that are on a trail? And if the dogs are opening up while you're leashed, are you trailing? It's all at discretion, right? It's all at discretion.
Yeah. See, if you got dogs that are silent on track and you only need 1 or 2, then you're good. Yeah. Just get you some Lycas or get you something like that. Leash it right in
there. We're trying to catch them, Derek, is what we're trying to do.
Hey, you ain't gonna never convince me that you catch more with hounds per capita. Like, you look at guys that hunt in, you know, with, I don't know, that's all these things do. They just ain't interested in trailing. Like the 3-4 day trails, that's all but gone now, because like you say, you can't sleep out with them. If you don't hit a road, you're dead in the water anyways. You know, the country ain't big enough for that no more, I don't think. You know, it's going away. And there's so many people. You might trail for 2 days and deer hunter shoots it on the other side of the mountain.
Oh, yeah, you know? But hell, another houndsman may pick it up on the other side of the mountain, crossing the road. You know, that's just kind of luck of the draw. But technology has changed us. You know, I started in the 90s. I didn't have no shot collars. I didn't have nothing.
Yeah, but nobody wants to go back to that. Just like we're not napping our flint at lattle points. Like nobody wants.
We're not taking off the GPS and putting on beeps because we want to be like the old timers.
Yeah, we're not just
be like the old timers. Let them go and just go follow them.
Yeah.
Well, you know, back to the days you could do that, you know. Them old-time collars, they ran off a magnet. You didn't need to charge nothing at night. Just shove the magnet or whatever back on the collar.
And those batteries will run for a month and a half, you know.
Yeah.
Well, hell, these days they got 10,000-hour batteries.
Yeah. You know, those you ain't doing that anymore because, for one,
No.
it sucked. It wasn't as easy as it is today. And second of all, you don't know if that dog ran to a road.
Yep. Yeah, we got to change with the times, or else we'll get cut out like every other old thing that didn't get with the times. You know.
Well, this is Troy right here. He said we just had a section of public shut down because they found a corn pile. A lot of this stuff that happens is because of one dude got busted. And I talked to my son about the gray areas. And if they can't get you on a gray area, they'll turn that black or white because somebody bucked the system.
Yep.
And so now they, it's just like game cameras. They're not illegal. They're just illegal to take game.
Which it's just, that's one thing. We need to ostracize those outlaw idiots more than the other guys do because they're hurting us. You know.
Well, they took a lion hunter's license for life for game cams. So,
yep.
I mean,
it's
there.
No, it's there. It's just that means they work the shit out of that case.
Yeah.
They make sure they had it. But even when they make sure they have it, there's big outfitters that get away with stuff because of a simple I can't really say it out loud just because of little stuff that here's a good example. It's not what it is, but it's close to what it is. Say I'm a guide. Okay. So say I'm a guide and I say, hey, Derek works for me. Everybody knows you work for me. And I say, Derek, go put out these game cameras. Okay, you get busted with them, but you work for me. And they voted this down. And so when they come to me, I say, well, I didn't know he put those out. Even though I might have had correspondence, is all I'll say, whether it's a note, a text, a video, saying, I could say, well, I didn't tell. Yeah, I said to go put out cameras. I didn't say to kill anything on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so these guys are getting away with this bullshit, and then the little guys getting hammered.
And
the
that's what I
reason
mean.
That is because there's a game commission in Nevada for outfitters, and all it does is bind up the good guys because the bad guys, no matter what, will keep breaking the law.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by like us as outside of law enforcement, we need to ostracize the outlaw behavior to a level 20, like, and we all make jokes and ha ha ha, but really we should be like this dirty son of this guy right here. This is what he's doing. Same way we do with the dog shooters and all that. We need to run those jokers out of town on the rail. And if we're policing ourselves, then they can't say, look at these bad hound guys. No. We run that joker right out of the place. Like, we don't associate with that dirtbag, whatever, spotlighting, game camera, whatever it is.
Let's take those dog killers. Like, they're not houndsmen or nothing, but they're still a hunter. And the other side will take any hunter and make all the hunters look bad. Look at these hunters. They're merciless. They killed someone's pet. It was an 11-year-old dog. So they're going to spin that narrative like you won't believe.
That's what I mean.
We're mad too, and we think they're a piece of the shit, and they should be put in a bar and just run the gauntlet. But we're not spinning that narrative like you guys are a piece of shit, because it's like those guys are a piece of shit. That's all it is. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
The other side will they'll use it. They will use it to their advantage, and I think.
That's what I mean. Like, we got to up our ostracization level of the outlaws to higher than they are. I mean, we got to be out there on top of the building talking about old John Smith up the road is shooting off corn piles. This dirty son of a. We need to turn those guys in. We need to push that stuff, because if we got to police ourselves, or like you say, they'll use the one bad guy to get us all at.
You know what makes that hard, Derek? The manly ego of snitches get stitches.
That is a weak, soft idea that's going to put us away. That is some pansy shit. The snitches get stitches. That all that is I want to look cool to this other man. If you need to look cool to the other man, then you kind of a bitch in the first place, I think. Need to worry about protecting what we care about or stop pretending to care about it. You know what I mean? The hell with that. The hell with all that. That's old and archaic and ridiculous. And it's a bunch of cowards that with soft ass egos that made that up. Because they want all their buddies to like them. They want more friends. You can't worry about that. That ain't what's important.
This is right here. Snitches get paid. Snitches get money in their britches. I mean, there's a time. There's people that are just shitbags, and there's people that cut corners. There's a big difference. There's outlaws, and there's people who aren't outlaws. They just don't exactly do things right. It's those outlaws, and no one's an outlaw till you get caught. You know, and then all of a sudden you're an outlaw. So, and then some of these people that are associated with these outlaws, all of a sudden they're not friends no more. But man, you're a product of your environment. You're the company you keep, all that good saying stuff. And I think that's why in Arizona, the West, I'll say the West, I think that's why a lot of people stay to themselves. Because it's easier to stay to yourself. And if you are cutting a corner, whether you, like me, what I call legal baiting, whether I'm dumping oyster juice out the window to try to get a bear to walk up the road or whatever, you know. But if a game warden seen me dump my oysters out the window, and then the next day he sees me rig off of that where he marked I dumped the oysters, he's going to get me for baiting. And I have
really
to fight
just for the juice? Is luring not legal?
No.
You can't do nothing.
You can't
That's
use
bait,
scent
right?
lures?
But it's just I don't even know what is. I think Arizona's
luring is considered baiting.
So you
right?
can't.
I don't even think you can use
deer piss or anything like that.
I don't think you can use estrus in Arizona, right? You can't use doe.
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah,
I don't
I've
deer
never
hunt like that.
I've never
No
read
one's
any
ever-
of the laws
I
on
mean-
that. I just know I'm not doing any of it. So.
I don't know anyone in the West that's deer hunted and hung doe estrus in a tree.
Well, no, because they like to walk around. You know, and in a lot of places that's the way to go, the only way to go. But yeah, they don't
You know,
use
'cause
sand.
we're not
because
trying to hunt
yeah.
20-acre parcels.
No, it's a way different.
Yeah.
Way to hunt back. I mean, we're long range shooters in the West.
Yeah.
We're long range shooters.
Well,
You know?
you kind of have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can see.
You can see long range. We're
Yeah,
not in a.
that changes the game. You can see farther than 60 yards.
If you're in a
10 yards.
slot canyon, and the shot's 400 yards across the canyon, shoot it. Because if you try to go down and then look up, you're not going to see him until you're right on top of him.
If that deer sees you across that canyon, you're not even going to get a chance to walk down that canyon.
Yep.
And if you can see them, they can see you.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And it's just open area. That's just how we hunt here.
Well,
So,
yeah.
But like back to the keeping to yourself thing, like again, that's what happened in the Pacific Northwest. Everybody minded their own business and stayed out of it, and nobody was there when they voted to take it away because nobody was paying attention to what everybody else was doing. Like we can't afford that anymore. Like you say, we're always on camera, we're always in the public. Times have changed. You can't hide on the mountain because there's 2,000 other people on that dang thing.
mm-hmm.
Like those days are gone. We have to be actively involved in every aspect of protecting what we have, or else we're going to go away. That's what I think. Like, and we need to be the forefront of rooting out the bad apples, or the bad apples will poison our whole bucket.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. I mean, it's just not a lot of hunters or people in general, no matter what, take that time to talk to somebody. You know,
I hate
just like
talking to people. That's why I go
trappers.
to Phoenix at night. I fill up the night before I leave to go hunt, just so I don't have to deal with people at the gas station in the morning.
Well, look at trappers. They have all kinds of little trapping days, and they go out and do stuff. Houndsmen, we typically don't have Why don't we have a houndsman day? Some states have those houndsman days where they
Yep.
have a little hound carnival type environment and
Mm-hmm.
have little cook-offs and whatever. We just don't do that. And I think that's like we have camo at the Capitol. That's a pretty good one. You know, that's a good spot to, but getting people to do that is crazy. I don't want to do that. I've just had to, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
We just don't have a choice. Like, if not us, then who? You know, like we got to do what we can if we want to see it around for our kids and our grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I want to make it to where in 1,000. Like I said, I was on another podcast the other week, and I
He's
said on
getting
there,
famous on us.
they you know, a man and dog is the oldest human cultural activity that we have still. It's the oldest one. And I want that to still be around in 1,000 more years. You know, 15,000 years or 20,000, we've had it. And I want to see it in another 1,000 and another 1,000. And that's not going to happen if we don't do the work to keep it, because there's plenty of ways it could go away.
Well, it was a way of life 1,000 years ago. And then the way of life got easier where you got scope, you got rifles that shot farther. So you didn't need a dog to go with a
The
shoot.
hard part is about the lions and bears is they're not like deer. You don't see them going down the highway.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to people down here, wherever, you know, and they're always, what are you doing? I'm lion hunting. I've never seen one before. Well, I tell them, you know, yeah, no, they're out here. You know, I say that, but in the back of my head, I'm just like, it's not the lion's fault that you suck at hide and go seek.
Well, I told a lady the day I met Jerry, I talked to a lady and she's like, "We got bears here." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I've never seen one." I was like, "Well, have you ever seen $1 million?"
Yeah,
You know?
they don't. If you don't, they don't see them like they see the number of deer.
Mm-hmm.
So instantly in their head, it needs to be protected because they don't see them.
They're extinct. They're not around.
Yeah.
Endangered species.
Endangered.
You know, just because you know they don't see them, which once again,
How many
it's not the
deer
animal's
hunters?
fault, you suck.
How many deer hunters have been within 30 yards of a lion out there hunting, walking through the desert? I guarantee. I tell deer hunters, they say, "I've never seen one." I said, "Well, they've seen you." And I bet you, if you've been hunting for 30 years, I bet you more than 10 times in your life, you've been within 30 yards of a lion that was just chilling right there and you never seen them.
I walked past the lion tree with the dogs. We couldn't figure this buck out for some reason. The wind was blowing. And they'd go up this rock cropping, take it down to the wash. It dead end at the wash. They take it back up, and I was walking down to go look at them, and I was trying to get them to go back down that wash where they kept losing it. And I walked by this. It was down in this desert country, and that lion was 12 feet above my head, and I walked right past it. I didn't think about looking up in a tree then, you know.
Yeah. Well, hell, me and my friend trailed one out and stood there for 10, 15 minutes because the dogs were just running. We had a bunch of pups and looked up like we were looking up. Finally seen it after 10, 15 minutes. Dustin, you still there? You fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
Hey, so is there a big difference between Utah and Arizona as far as attitudes and how people hunt and react and group up?
As far as hunters in general or houndsmen?
Yeah, it's just houndsmen. That's all we care about. We don't care about those other guys.
I mean, I'm not sure on that. I mean, definitely hunting in Arizona versus Utah, I run into houndsmen a hell of a lot less in Arizona than I did in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
What
are the attitudes? What's the attitude difference between bumping someone in Utah and bumping someone in Arizona? Is there any, or is it kind of a?
I think it's person specific, but Utah, when it comes to hunting lions, for lack of just my experience, nobody likes anybody because it's a huge competition. When it comes to bears, everybody's pretty friendly. And so it was very different from one to the other, and that's just my experience, because you get beat on a road to find a lion track, everybody's pissed, blah 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 blah. They got there before you didn't get up early enough, you're in their country, all that crap. But bears, it's very much like, hey, yeah, we got this, you want to throw some young dogs in, let's do this, do whatever. Whereas in Arizona, honestly, the last, what have I been hunting in Arizona? A little over 2 months. I've ran into one other houndsman besides the guys that were in camp. So my experience with other houndsmen in Arizona hasn't been a ton, because everybody I've ran into has been people, that were in camp with us or whatever, except for one other guy. And he was way friendly, worked out great. I mean, you guys know him. It was Cody Seabar.
Yeah.
Yep. Run into him. When we run into him, he was just finished up hunting a squirrel with his boy, and that little boy shot a 12 gauge and it whooped his ass. He had a bloody nose. It was it was funny. I was trying not to laugh, but really, in the last 2 months, that is the only other houndsman I've ran into on the mountain.
His kid's
Besides,
like 5 years old, ain't he?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's that.
He's a
but
little old guy.
Dude, he let that. I think he let that squirrel have it with a 12 gauge. I mean, we did run into a different outfitter, and that's a story for another day, and not one
Around
for
the
here.
campfire.
But, yeah. But I mean, so it's definitely been a different experience as far as the amount of people I've ran into. Because you go hunt bears in Utah, you're gonna run into people no matter what. On
That's
a
the way it is
crappy,
over in one too, Just
it's a crappy unit versus a good unit. No matter what, you're gonna run into some other people eventually. But and like I say, it's always been different. Lion versus bear. Lions, it's everybody hates everybody and can be jealous. Bears, for the most part, a lot of people get along. So it's definitely different that way.
That's like elk hunting though. If you're in a rut hunt, people are
They get
get little,
possessive and
they
protective.
get very
And
possessive now, and they're like, I haven't seen no elk. You're in my area. If you're on a cow hunt, you're like, I just seen a herd over there. I just seen a herd over there, and that's like
yeah,
that's why yes, and you say bear and lion, but you see bears. You see bears
yeah,
crossing the road. You see bears.
yeah,
There's videos of bears everywhere. And then the
yeah,
lion, you just don't see the lion videos. So it's just a more scarce commodity
yeah.
that you're trying to look
And
for. And you do get possessive. It's like trying to get a date with the only pretty girl out of 10 in a town.
oh
Everybody's
yeah,
trying to
I
get a
mean,
date with that girl.
I think it's
I
a
mean,
cultural thing too. Because like I've talked about it before, the guys are just unfriendly out here, But when like we had them guys come out, the Pace fella and them guys come out from east, I just dropped them a pin where I caught a female before, and they went over and caught her, and I was happy for them. Like, I told them it's bad, 22 right there, 22 South. That's a nasty bit, like it's nasty in there, but there's where she was, and I think it's a cultural thing because like we've been so crowded for so long where I come from that you just get used to it. As long as nobody's being stupid and shooting rifles over your heads or whatever like that, no problems. But out here, everybody still wants to that's my mountain, and that kind of stuff is probably where it comes from, I would think.
possibly.
So you think because there's more people back east, you have to deal with it more than like here, like uh, Dustin said, Utah, you bump into a lot of people. Down here, you bump into a little.
Yeah, I think it's just like what's happening now, where we're getting what more seems like more and more saturated from what I'm hearing. That happened back east 40 years ago, 50 years ago. You go any road you want down that mountain, and you're going past 8 or 10 trucks. You may or may not know any of these guys, but everybody's got the map. Everybody knows where the forest road goes, you get on public and the Appalachian, and it's just everybody's everywhere. Everybody's got a dog, you
Well,
know.
I think with Derek, I've been here since '86. So I think I already know who to bump into, not to. So if I see a guy, I know how he is. Maybe I won't stop and talk, or I will, and not. I'll keep it short. I know the guys who are decent, so I tend
Justin did that to me, and I camped with him. He'd still drive the other way on the road.
to wake up
That's
in the
because
morning and he's trying to get rid of you.
Yeah.
I still can't get that funk out of my dog box from having them little black suckers in there.
Nah. You got the black and tan smell.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
tell
I
you
think
what.
like because I'm from here and I know who to stop and talk to, or I know those people, I know what to say. As far as you're kind of an outsider, so no one knows who you are. Like,
But yes, but at the same point, I've lived in this state less than 2 years, and I haven't had a run in. I mean, I haven't ran into a lot of houndsmen,
mhm,
but I haven't had a run in that I thought was horrible. That were, I mean, unfriendly or whatever. I mean, the one incident we did have was with a different outfitter, and
mhm.
that's a whole different story. But in the end, we were all great,
It
But
wasn't a
like,
fist fight at the tree.
no, and it's I don't know. I mean, and everyone's spirit experience is different, and I'm not trying to downplay Derek's experience versus mine, but I mean, for me, the one guy I did run into, we were great. You know,
Here.
like it was. I was laughing at his kid with a bloody nose. He said,
Mhm,
"Yeah, I've been hunting here. We did this, and honestly, this last weekend, the guys I run into, they were houndsmen. They had a few dogs, but they weren't hunting with hounds. They were just out doing whatever. They were great. We had a 5-minute conversation. I was like, you know what? I said, I chased a big boar in here last week. We walked him. It kicked my ass. I said, I'm hoping to find him. They're like, well, we checked this tank. It's dry. I said, that tank's been dry for 2 weeks. I said, but they run this canyon. Like I was just straight up front with them. I said, they run this
mhm.
canyon because this canyon holds water. And they were like, oh, thank you. And honestly, I went in there, free casted, hiked for 2 hours, and I found that big boar, and we walked him again. We weren't able to kill him, but we got him up and moving, and he took a left turn on us and took us into no man's land, and I had to drive an hour and a half around just to get in front of my dogs after a rainstorm. That's a story for another day. But like, they were great. And on Facebook the next day, they're like, hey, did you do any good? And I was honest with them. Said, you know what? We got on one, but we didn't end up sealing the deal, and they were great.
Oh,
So I think it's just, I don't know. It can be specific. Assholes are assholes. Good people are
Yeah.
good people. You know what? In Benny's younger years, if me and Benny might have met, we probably would have been like, you know what, you some bitch, get off my mouth.
Well, I was going. I
I
was
said,
going
you
to
got
there
a funny
next.
mustache. I'm gonna punch it. But
Yeah, I was going there next because Benny's about to leave and go to bed. I can tell. But
oh, I'm with
back
Not
you.
in
bad.
back in the old days, Benny. I mean, how was that interactions out there? There probably wasn't even as many as there is today interactions because you guys were out further, not just road hunting.
The road hunting took place during a snow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time. Otherwise, everybody hauled in and unloaded their horses and their mules and left. And I've never, ever once run into anybody else. Not
Well,
once.
was there any road dragging, or were you running roads, checking
No
tracks, or
shit,
it wasn't
no.
a thing?
No, that
Mhm.
wasn't a thing. And eh, people didn't do it. Well, for the lion hunting part, people didn't do it to see how many lions they could kill. People did it as self-preservation for their livestock industry.
Mhm.
People did it for there was guides back then, and so they did it for a living, but they weren't just out there. People did it a lot of times because they love the hounds and they loved working the hounds.
Yeah.
It's just I think the hound is a tool, and it should be more than just a tool. No matter
So
what your choice is for hunting, it's I know a lot of people that hunt that have no business having dogs. Period. That's just because they don't have the mentality to really enjoy the dog. And you guys are talking about getting the antis on our side, or at least not fighting us as hard and showing them that the dogs are part of our family and all that. Well, the dogs were never part of my family, but I was part of their pack. And they lived outside, but they had manners. They knew what was up, and I expected them to behave for no matter who was around. But at the same time, when it was me and the dogs out in the hills, we were I was one of them, and they were one of me. You know, they came back and they checked on me, and I was always checking on them, and it was just it's just a different, completely different mentality. And now, and social media has a big part in this because now everybody wants to have the chest stuck out and they want to brag and, well,
look at me, look at me.
look at me. I just caught 25 bears this year, and well, I just caught 20 lions last year. You know, nobody cared about that. Um,
You
Bill,
cared about the stories. It was more of
yeah,
a if you
when
caught
you
one
talk,
line with a good story.
when you sat around camp and you talked to people, you heard about the dogs. You heard about how things took place. You heard, you guys talking about these beep beep collars. Hell, I never hunted anybody that had any kind of collar except a name tag on your dog collar. We
Dang,
we had
Benny.
to figure, yeah, we had to figure out where the dogs were going, and we had to know the country, and we had to figure out what's the best way to get there, and we had to get up on a bluff and listen.
You
And
had to leave your jacket with dog food where you last seen them or dropped
Yep.
it.
yeah, we did all that
What?
stuff. So things, and for all the guys that I hunted that are way older than me that I hunted with, they're right. It's gone away. That way has gone away. I hunted with George Goswick. George is gone. I never hunted with Bill Workman, but Bill Workman's one of those guys that he never relied on a telephone. He just went out and hunted. And I've heard the numbers that Bill Workman's caught over 600 mountain lions. I don't know how many bears, but if you stop and figure guys like that making those numbers from way back in the day when there was no form of assistance other than just get your ass out and make circles,
Hmm.
like Brett turned loose that video again about him and Henry McIntyre, where he says Henry said, "Take good dogs into good country and make circles." Well, that's what everybody did back then, and that's the way I learned.
Here's
Which is,
this guy. What's that?
go ahead, Chris.
Well, I was gonna say this guy asked, did you ever let me see, do you guys ever have other hunters walk into your hunt, just join up and think they can? It's a big problem here. No chit chat, just drop their dogs. And I've I've been I'll tell a story. I was running the dogs and another guy's running the dogs. We just ended up running and we just ran together. He had dogs out, I had dogs out. It was a long run. He was picking dogs up. I was at the end of the run. I was letting my fat dogs out, and he had his fat dogs out, and we caught a bear together up on a mountain. And he was older, and I was older, and so we sent both our kids up to see if it was a big bear. But I enjoyed that because I don't even think I really knew him at the time. I knew of him, but why they went up there, we chit chatted, and there's been some problems with him and not me, but I mean, it was just a good time. I just have never been, I guess, competitive. But when you have a guide, that it's like having somebody that builds watches here and someone else puts another watch company here, and then they're like, "Shit, you just took my business." So guiding is money. That's what they're doing. So when you are guiding, you got a client, someone they literally take that money from you when they cut you off, and I think that's where the problems happen. and then you have that hatred toward the guy, and then there's that beef, and then it just
I don't think so. I mean, shoot.
It,
I
it
ran into
can,
an outfitter down here. I didn't have a hunter that day. He did. I had a
Mhm.
hunter coming in the next day. I called him and told him he was going backwards because I found the track.
But
I
not
think
but
it's, I don't think it's guide specific versus hobby hunter or whatever. I think it's person specific. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and to go with what Benny was saying, like I definitely think the times have changed and the reason people hunt can be a little different, but the love of the dogs and the reason people hunt, I don't think have changed with the right people, if that makes sense. Because to me, I mean, after a day of hunting, this last month, Jared and I were together almost every day. We'd get back. What do we talk about, Jared? This dog did this. This dog did
Mhm.
this. It wasn't, puff up my chest about this. Jared would be like, all my dogs did this and this son of a bitch did this. Like, what do you think? We were talking dogs and just enjoying it and being like, you know what, this dog worked great today. This dog didn't do shit. What do you think about it? Or this dog was the only one that stayed with the bear. The other ones didn't make it. Like that, that's a great dog. That's how it was. We were just flat out just enjoying the dogs, enjoying being a part of it. And I don't
Yep.
think that has changed over the years with a grain
In
of
the right
salt, if that
circles,
makes sense.
but in
Yeah.
the right circles, Dustin.
Yes, yes.
You're talking
But
about camaraderie. You know,
yeah.
Casey Fair and I met through a mutual friend, Justin Marks, and I'd go over there hunting, and Casey'd show, and Justin, the three of us would go make a loop. And to this day, I can't tell you what we talked about, but we just enjoyed each other's company out with the dogs.
Very
So,
much so.
and what you're talking about is you're in hunting camp and you're just talking about kindred spirit kind of stuff, and nobody's boasting, well, you know,
No, yeah.
probably there's a little ribbon that takes place, but ribbing,
Always.
yeah, but if it's not malicious and there's no malicious intent,
Yep.
that's where everybody needs to
unless it's
be.
about black and tans, and
Yeah.
then Dustin's
Well,
okay with it.
Yeah.
you asked Jared. We had a conversation the other day, and I admitted to him, I said, my dogs have black and tan in them back in the day. I said,
Yeah.
I'll never admit this full-heartedly in public, but I give him shit about it. But you know what? The first lion we caught together, it was nothing this or that. Like, we had a great time. Like,
Yep.
I was happy that his young dog, his 2-year-old dog, Rocky, made it. Like, I was ecstatic. I was happy that, his other dog was there. I had some dogs there. Like, it was just good. And we were trying to figure out what happened with the dogs that didn't make it. And I'm pretty sure they were on a different lion.
Yep.
Was what it is. And I'll give him hell about his black and tans till I'm blue in the face. But it's all in good fun, and Jared knows that. But at the end of the
Yep.
day, he can call me and be like, "Hey, this dog did this. What do you think?" Or I can ask him and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on." Like,
Yeah.
it's like Benny said, it's camaraderie, it's whatever in all of that sense. But in the end, it's not malicious. It's not ill intent. It's just guys enjoying
The
dogs and wanting to talk to each other about it.
Well,
the
I can tell you guys that as far as dogs in general, and I don't know why we get these prejudices, but I don't care for walkers and I don't care for black and tans. However, I will I
I'm
will
with
run
you.
over
I'm with you.
this. No, but listen, to the end of the story. I will run over everybody in the road blocking my path to go have a look at a high tan. And you don't get a high tan without a walker and a black and tan.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
So there
no
you
matter
go.
how bad your day goes, the best times is always around the campfire. Period.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
definitely. It's there's days I get my butt kicked and days that I don't. And I mean, you look at, all right, so Jared calls us. It was on a good bear that we killed. We were cold trailing a bear that day, and Jared's like, "Well, I found a nice boar track, and it's by this tank." He found it. What'd you find it at? Like 1 in the afternoon, Jared?
Yeah.
Noon?
It was late. It was about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It was late.
And he said this bear track's from in the morning. It was from this morning, but we were already dealing with our stuff, whatever. So the next day, I went back in there with another good friend of ours, Colton, that was down here hunting with us. And I shit you not, where Jared told us the bear track was, we rigged it well over, we rigged it at 7 in the morning. So close to 24. Jared doesn't know when the track was made. He just found it at 1. We'll leave it there. We rigged it. We started cold trailing it, ended up getting it jumped, and we ended up killing that bear. I mean, it walked all day. I mean, we killed it at 3:30 in the afternoon in front of dogs that we had to feed dogs into it, do whatever. And Jared caught a lion that day. So he found the bear track the next day, the first day, told us where it was. He caught a lion. We were trailing a bear, everything like that. And at the end of the day, there was no, "Oh, well, we did this, you did that" shit. I got done killing that bear. We got back to camp, and I started asking Jared about his lion. I was like, "Well, what happened? How did you trail it? How long was the trail?" It was none of, "Well, we did this shit. You didn't do that shit." Wasn't worth it, even though he runs black dogs. But it was just good
Yep.
stuff that we were both. Jared was just as happy that we killed a big ass bear as I was that he went and caught a lion that day.
And
Like
then that lion smoked us the next day.
Oh, it did. We both went back. All 3 of us went back, put in good dogs on it. We got it. Colton ended up getting it going with some of mine, some of Jared, and some of his dogs. And she heard us coming, and she gave us a run for the money. We had her jumped. Dogs were trailing her. They made a lose out on some ledges. Me and Jared got there just a little bit after I did. Jared figured out the lose. We sent dogs down, and she went down a shitty wash towards the river. And it was one of those deals that was like, what the hell happened? Because they were trailing good, made a couple loses, cooking on it, and then they hit the bottom, right where it turned to green grass and big cottonwoods next to the river. And it was like a dead stop. I didn't know if she went upriver, if she went downriver, if she crossed the river. What I think happened is she got to that green grass, did a circle, and went right back up, and the dogs couldn't figure it out.
Yep.
But yeah, and honestly, that was a good day of trailing. I was happy as could be, other than the walk I had to walk out. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bad part, going back.
But I mean, and luckily, we went out a different way and things like that. But shit, I was just as happy watching them dogs trail a lion, and in the end, we never caught it. But we both got to see some good dog work, got to watch other people's dogs work, and it wasn't for lack of better words, a dick measuring contest of, well, my dog did this and your dog didn't do that and all this shit. No. We were just happy watching dogs trail a freaking lion.
You was out there doing what dogs are supposed to be doing.
Oh,
Yep.
and loving every minute of it.
Yep.
You guys have a good
I
evening.
think we're going to end it right on that.
That's a
mic
good
drop.
one.
Derek's up there
Yeah.
yawning.
And as long as Dustin's in witness protection, the rest of us need to keep quiet about it. See you guys.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Yep. See you
We'll
guys.
see everybody next week.
See you, fellas.
We'll see it.
There you go. A little bit of dog talk, better than politics for sure. You can pick these podcasts. I turn these into podcasts. Usually come out Friday. Remember our sponsor, Cold Strike Gear. You can go check out Dustin's stuff, coldstrikegear.com. Value Pack Dog Food. I use it. I like it. I've been using it for a while now. I have no problems with it. So look them up. Try it on your dogs and see if it does pretty good. It compares to everything else, and I have no problem with it. You want to be part of the Arizona Working Dog Alliance at Matron and the American Working Dog Alliance? Just go to azwda.com. Other than that, keep your guys' powder dry and stay safe out there.
Well,